Hello there, this is Professor Zeeebo speaking and welcome back to yet another AFK journey video. So in today's Zeee Ultimate PvE tier list, we're going to run through all the units' current PvE performance in the different game modes and then put them into their respective tiers based on their current meta performance. So in today's video, we will talk about all the units, discuss about all the nitty-gritty PvE contents ranging from Dream Realm, AFK stages, Relentless Rumble, your Titan River, as well as your Ravage Realm. There is an upcoming bossing contents. So we will also be talking about the guild contents battle drill as well in terms of the PvE coverage. So these are the different grounds that we will cover. So for this tier list, we will be grouping the units into the following tier. So Kafra tier is basically a tier where the unit basically don't see too much of a use, and in most cases they don't see even very niche users. Like even if let's say there are certain users that you might want to use them, for example, let's say for Danny's case, right? Danny is a really good unit in terms of the control side and pretty good as a tanker, but if you have much better options or just cheaper alternatives over Danny, then that unit will be in the higher tier, and Danny is pretty much not considered as the best tank or a usable tank right now because of good options like Torrent, like Kellen, like Fresto running around. So that's why they belong in the Kafra tier. So they might have some use, but in most cases, if you think about PvE, they won't be the units that come to mind, at least in terms of their current performance. So they are like the bottom of the barrel. And then the niche tier is a tier where certain units will have very niche users for specific, I'll say like game modes or for specific stages or situations in the game. So for this one, the best representative will be Skalita. So in most cases, Skalita right now is pretty weak, but there are two niches in Skalita that you will want to use her for. So number one, to deal against units with infinite revive or the invulnerability in the AFK stages. So pretty niche, but really helpful if you have those stages where you need her abilities to insta-kill. And another possibility is Ravage Realm. So Ravage Realm is an upcoming bossing contents every end of the season where Celestial Hypergene characters will have the ability to give you additional stats buff for the different factional teams itself, right? At the same time, Skalita dealing true damage might actually make her a decent bosser in Ravage Realm, so that's why she's in the niche question mark category. So these units, they are very niche, maybe either for specific game modes or specific purposes. And then we have the AFK stage push unit. So these units are generally mostly used for the AFK stages. Some of them have very niche users, but very specific to just AFK stages and nothing else. But if you have them, right, this is where you might have an easier time for AFK stage push, but in most cases, units in the Versatile and SS Plus tier will also be able to AFK stage push while doing other PvE contents. So for the bossing side, pretty much the same as AFK stage push, but more towards the bossing contents such as your Dream Realm as well as your Titan River together with Ravage Realm for certain units. And then Versatile tier is basically units which are generally usable across multiple different contents. Generally, units in the Versatile and SS Plus tiers are units that you want to build up because they are used across different game modes. They're used on a day-to-day basis and they are generally stronger compared to the rest of the units at the bottom tier. Although there are specific cases where certain bossing units is really good for the Dream Realm side and you want to use those characters for bossing so that you get a better Dream Realm score. So that's for the different tier ratings and disclaimer. Okay, so to save us some time, I actually put in most of the units for Kafra tier as well as the niche users because I think for the Kafra tier, we're not going to spend too much time to talk about the units individually, because if you take a look at the roster right here, they're basically units which are generally more PvP centric, like Barrel, Dan, Viperion, Igor, right? Or they're just generally weak units that doesn't see too much of a use, like Luca, Atalanta, Faye, or Valen, or just units with better replacement for what they do, and you probably won't build them up even for PvE contents like Danny as well as Lumon or Lucius. So like they just have better replacement for their job, and that's why they're down there. So we're not going to spend too much time to talk about them because today's focus is not on PvP contents, neither are we too focused on talking about all the units. We just want to talk about units which are usable for PvE side and also their tier rating in the current meta. So we are starting off with the niche users. Like the tier suggests, this unit sees very niche and specific users either against specific enemies or in very specific game modes. So there is a game mode right? I'll put a question mark. Just now we have a question mark, but we changed the name a little bit. That is called Ravage Realm. So it's a end game, end season bossing content that gives quite a bit of rewards. So for this game mode, there is a factional boss fight where you need to craft your best factional teams to get best damage against the boss. Very, very niche contents, but this is where there are certain damage dealers from the different factions that usually don't see that much of use across all the different usual game modes, but can be used in that game mode. So they might appear in the niche users as well. So I'll talk about them. So starting off, Skalita, I mentioned, very good against the infinite heal units. Torrent, for example, Tailin, for example, or just minions with the ability to come back to life. Just using Skalita to send them out at the correct time just removes their ability from reviving. So if you have her, pretty useful in those situations, but it's super duper niche in most cases. And then maybe a little bit of Ravage Realm for the factional bonus with her true damage potential. So that's for the niche users for Skalita. Corrin used to be a really good bossing unit in the earlier days of AFK journey, but I think in the current season, mechanically not meant for damage dealing. But I think from the light bearer damage side, I do think that Corrin might actually make a return, at least in terms of like being a filler unit to give you more damage, because he does still have the true damage and also a little bit of attack buffing, which could actually make him useful for those Ravage Realm game modes, or maybe very niche bossing game modes that could come in the near future. So that's for Corrin's position. Elsa, same thing, Ravage Realm. I think in most cases Elsa has always been a pretty consistent secondary damage dealer there together with Odie, so you probably won't be building units in the niche tiers, but let's say if you do have them built up, just know that you can actually run them for the specific game modes that I talk about, for example Ravage Realm. So the reason why Elsa is here is also because if you take a look at this season, I think for the Mauler side, they got very defensive units and they didn't get too much of a new DPS, right, in terms of the Mauler faction. So we got Gerda, and in terms of the boost to Soren, it's not that spectacular. So based on the current hero roster, I think on the Ravage Realm side, Elsa will probably still be one of the more premier damage dealer there. So that's for Elsa. Satrana's used for her vitality down as well as Ignite Passion. I think her Bonnie Satrana combo is more potent in the PvP side, but in the PvE side, generally really niche for that debuff ability that she's able to offer. So that is provided if you're able to keep her alive long enough. And then we have Seth. So Seth is good for Villainous Rumble, multi-mobbing content with the ability to pounce around, and probably one of the more premier attackers for your Ravage Realm as well. So that's for Seth's usage. Hodgkin, Cecile, as well as Niru. I think Hodgkin and Cecile might be used in the physical Graveborn team for Ravage Realm, but then with Bonnie being so prevalent, with a lot of, I'll say, like Graveborn synergy in, for example, Niru to give you an attack boost, there is a possibility that Cecile and Hodgkin might not see use. Who knows? But we shall see how it goes. But usually, with regards to the, I'll say, like Ravage Realm side, Cecile has always been a good secondary damage dealer. Hodgkin with the physical debuff ability and also decent damage could actually go well with Cecile in that game mode. So very niche users for these two units. If not for that unit, they'll probably be in the Kafra tier. So incidentally, Sylvina would also be in this trio in terms of the physical damage side for bossing. But for Sylvina's case, if you're building her up, chances are it's like mostly for PvP content, because like this unit's more of a PvP sniper. So yeah, I won't be just putting her up for PvE contents, because like this unit is good because her kit is good in PvP, but on the PvE side, very underpowered or just not that useful in most cases. Maybe Ravage Realm, like I mentioned, so I'm just gonna shift her up, but like in most cases, yeah, very niche. So Niru is good for using with Iron Armor's team to protect Iron Armor's combos against Lily Mace in your AFK stages, and Niru this season has the ability to buff up the attack and convert a portion of your allies' damage to true damage. So this ability probably gonna be useful for Ravage Realm as well. So that's why Niru is right here in the niche users category. Tamasia right now, at least based on the current meta, has only one use, and that is to combo with the Iron Armor's combo for the continuous chain stun. There are certain game modes where you need Tamasia's mini stun, like for example in the later Sand-based King, where Tamasia's mini stun with displacement ability is good against the boss, but super duper niche as well. Like us, probably going to be useful for the physical Wilders team with regards to Ravage Realm, because Wilder side did get Pheromore, right? But there is a possibility that Pheromore can just easily carry that one team, and then you don't even need like physical attacker. But historically, Lenya's pretty powerful for bossing as well as Ravage Realm. So being a physical attack buffer, attack speed buffer, as well as a physical defense debuffer makes Leica a unit that could actually go into like Lenya teams or like those bossing contents to come. So that's for Leica's positioning. Bryon, same thing as Nero. I think Bryon is used as a Lily May bait for PvE stages, and also your Ravage Realm, right? In most cases, together with your Lily May, together with Iron, I think Bryon has always been historically in the Ravage Realm team. So looking at the magical damage dealers, I think, yeah, Bryon's probably still gonna see use, because like, yeah, you have Lily May, but in terms of single target damage, I don't think Wilders have a strong replacement. Okay, maybe Pheromore. Yeah, but Pheromore's true damage. So, like, I think Pheromore could be one team's carry, right? And then Bryon, Lily May, as well as maybe Parisa could be like the core for another team. So that's what I think for the Ravage Realm side. So that's the position for Bryon. Very, very niche as well. Another super duper niche unit I'll say is probably Merrily. So Merrily, similar to Corinne, I think if you don't have a better option for bossing, she could actually go into the bossing tier, but I think they're just a lot more cheaper and easy accessible option in the current meta that I think, yeah, she's mostly for Ravage Realm, at least based on the current outlook of things. So that's for Merrily's case, because like Sinbad's so strong this season, so like I can't actually put Merrily up there because you just have Sinbad, right? You can buy from seasonal store. You just have Pheromore, which is a brand new unit. Even I think even like Lenya is just better than Merrily in most cases. So that's for Merrily's niche use portion. So that's that. I think the last niche use unit, I could actually give it to Reese. Yeah, like I think Reese, I'm not sure whether or not Reese was always include for Ravage Realm, but from my memory in the previous season, this unit is used in the physical Mauler team. So like I mentioned earlier, I think the physical Mauler units or like the Maulers in general didn't get like too many DPS, or I don't think I didn't even get a new DPS this season. So I guess Reese is probably still going to be used in Ravage Realm as one of the physical damage dealers. So that's for Reese positioning in the niche side. So that's that. Okay, I'm gonna put Hewin here. So some people might actually disagree, but I think generally speaking, Hewin is definitely usable as a support for the PV contents, right? But in most cases for PV contents, either you want a really good healer with damage, like Ludovic for example, or you want a good buffer. There is an offensive buffer with heals, like for example Smokey or even Mikola for example. So this is where Hewin, being a more PvP centric defensive buffer, I think is usable. Very, very niche users for that damage reduction, I guess. There could be cases where you don't have a better healer and you want to use her. That's why I won't put her in a Kafra tier, right? She is definitely one of the stronger units all around, but at least from the PvE direction, I think she's really, really niche. Like there's just a lot of good burst healers like Lawson and Damien around. So yeah, I'm not gonna say that she's good there. So that's for Hewin. I'm gonna put Atalia here. Yeah. So I think Atalia's kit is 100% PvP centric, but the AoE potential as well as the execution burst, as well as her ability to stay on the battlefield even after she dies, makes her decently usable. Probably going to be used for Ravage Realm, I guess, based on the damage numbers that she's able to output, and also being good for Relentless Rumble or mobbing contents in general, like your Battle Drill stages or your Relentless Rumble game mode. So that's for Atalia's position in the niche users, but generally speaking, more PvP centric. I actually wanted to say Coronana is good for bossing, but then yeah, I'll put Coronana good for bossing because like she has the ability to buy you time. So although she needs some combo, but in most cases I think Coronana's okay. So that's for the niche user side. Looking at this list, I think most other units should be okay. Okay, so that's for the niche user. So these units generally not built for PvE purposes, but if you do build them up, just know that they have, I'll say, like specific PV contents used, so that's for the niche users with question mark. Now for the AFK stage push, Kellen and Nara covered. I think Kellen's a really cheap A-level tank option that you can actually build up specifically for AFK stage push, because his ability to just soak up damage at the start of battle is actually really helpful to give your units additional survival in case your Fresto or maybe your other tanks are not built up. So that's for Kellen's positioning. Nara's used for the pulling to reposition units specifically in AFK stages, good with your smoky team. So the ability to reposition makes her a pretty invaluable asset for AFK stage pushes. So that's for Nara's case. I think another good AFK stage unit would be, I'm not going to put Iron, because Iron is generally very versatile in terms of where you can use. I'm going to put Coco here. So Coco is used to be, I'll say, in the early game, a versatile character, but I think as you move towards the mid to late game, Coco's defensive prowess is good, but against bossing you don't use her much because like she's very defensive by nature with a little bit of attack buff. I think if you use her mostly in the end game, it would be for AFK stages together with Moral teams for massive defensive damage reduction for you to survive a lot better with OD as well as Smokey in general. So not for bossing in the late game, but very specific to AFK push, though that's why she's here. Brutus definitely used as a AFK stage tank in the earlier game for the new players. One copy of him can buy you 5 seconds with the invulnerability, so definitely usable in the AFK stage. One of the units which I think you don't need that much of a tier because you're using him for the 5 seconds, and then I think if he starts to fall off later once you have better tanks, then you can replace him. So that's for Brutus placement. I think I do want to say Parisa, but I think Parisa is generally versatile, so not so much. Oh yeah, Rowan. So Rowan's ability gives him the ability to give energy to the ally, right? But I think this ability right now is number one, a little bit more skewed towards the PvE side, and number two, in most cases in PvE context, more on your AFK stage push to hyper accelerate the ultimate spamming of your Iron Armors teams or your like smoky teams, right, in general. So that's for Rowan's placement in the AFK stage pushing side. Tassi is definitely more AFK stage push than anything else, yeah, because like this unit is PvP centric. The kit is very PvP centric, but you do see her being used for AFK stage push together with the Wilders factional team, as well as just being a good control unit with massive AoE damage synergy. Siren's actually used in Dream Realm, so I do think that Siren's generally versatile. I think from this list, oh yeah, Arden. So Arden is I kind of want to say Arden is versatile, but I think in most cases, right, like Arden and Almas, I guess for this season more specifically, they are used for PvP contents, and although Arden has some like mobbing ability to kill multiple units, but it always comes at the price of comboing him with Iron. So if let's say used on his own, I guess you can use him for AFK stage push, but in most cases, let's say if you're using Arden for maybe your Relentless Rumble, for example, it's okay, but I think you do have better options out there. So I'm just going to put Arden in the AFK stage pushing side. I think he's still really good for that one, but other than that, more to the PvP sense. So same thing for Almas. What of a combo piece with Iron? So I will put Iron in versatile. Like I don't think Iron's a SS plus tier, but Iron is pretty much the combo starter for all the Iron Armors teams, right, in AFK stage. So if you don't have Iron, the combo doesn't work, and if you don't have Iron, you lose all those magical defense debuff and the repositioning ability, which is just insane. So I think Iron's versatile, but not Arden and Armors. They are pretty much combo pieces to him, and if you take him out of the equation, I think they are in the good for AFK stage push units. So that's for these two units. I guess that's pretty much it. I guess Vala. No, okay. I'm gonna sort of put Vala in the niche users. I kind of forgot about her, cause like looking at the current list itself, I don't think Vala's that good for bossing. Unfortunately, not this season. Like this unit's kit this season is more assassin based, so more PvP centric. So like, I guess she would be used in like Ravage Realm, like for the bossing damage output potential. But other than that, yeah, probably not the best, because there's Sinbad, right? So like even Siren does better in Endless Dream Realm boss, so that's why like Vala's down there. So like we also have Cassidy for the bossing side, so that's why we're gonna put Vala here. So that's for Vala's addition in niche. AFK stage pushing side. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, like all the other units, I think they will see some use. Oh wait, Damien. Yeah, so I think Damien, to a certain extent, you can say Damien is a very niche use character for the haste boost, but I think for Damien's case, if you don't have the other better healers, I guess you can put Damien in it. Okay, I'm gonna just put Damien in the niche use as well. Now that I run through the list myself, I think like similar to Hewin, Damien's kit is more PvP centric. Like I think you do use him as a healer for AFK stage pushers. That is if you don't have other healers like Ludovic or Smokey built up. But in most cases, Damien's more PvP centric. For the PvE side, I don't think you are running Damien specifically for a specific game mode, but more like let's say if I don't have a better healer, let's say if I need a better burst healer, you use Damien. So that's for Damien's positioning in niche users. So for the AFK stage pushing side, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, like looking at this list, I kind of want to put Parisa here, but I think Parisa is generally versatile as well. So that's that. I think Lawson's generally versatile when comboed with Iron Armor's combo, if you can burst the enemy down. So that's that. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. So these units, they are, for the PvE side, more specific to AFK stage pushers. So yeah, we're just gonna stop the list here. So for bossing side, yeah, like let's put Cassidy here. These units, they are specific for bossing contents, right? Your Battle Drill bossing, or even your Dream Realm bossing, or just Titan Reaver, or bossing contents in general. So I'm gonna put Mikola here. So like Mikola is definitely a bossing character as a buffer. Not versatile, like she's not used across different game modes or used across multiple different PvE contents, but more for the bossing side. So that's for Mikola's use. Morale is used for Battle Drill, and also a pretty decent damage dealer with the S plus boost or the magical damage side. So Ravage Realm, right? Battle Drill, bossing, as well as maybe specific stages where you need that additional magical damage with the light barrel factional talent. So that's why Morale is here. But Cassidy is stronger for bossing. We're gonna group the unit in terms of their power level for this one. So Pheromone's used across different stuff, so not that. Sinbad's also used across different stuff. Odie's also used across different stuff. Actually, Carolina's really versatile. Yeah, you can use her for mobbing, or you can use her for bossing. Same thing for Bonnie. So specifically for bossing, I think Lenya's a pretty good physical damage dealer. Like obviously not the best, maybe not as good as Sinbad, but like let's say if you don't have a better option, I think she's quite good for bossing. Pretty good for your Battle Drill, in one of the best teams as well in terms of potential damage output. So I'm gonna put her here in the bossing side. Reina, yeah, I think Reina's more bossing. Yeah, because like his kit is about debuffing the boss and buffing your characters for maximum damage, but more on a single target, more on a single boss side. So that's that. Shakir, I think Shakir is versatile, so I'm not gonna put him in the bossing. Oh yeah, Sonya is no, but Sonya's actually good for mobbing as well. I think Torrent in the Torrent in the bossing component, I guess you can say he's niche as well. But I think, let's say if you don't have a better tank to soak up damage, if you're in the very early game where you need a tank to soak up damage for your carry to survive longer, Torrent's pretty good, right? This unit also has a good ultimate to retaliate damage from the boss, and this unit has good factional synergy with Bonnie and Carolina. Let's say if you do have them built up in the earlier stages of the game, so Torrent does see some use for bossing contents. And I think Ravage Realm will also have a slot for Torrent with the physical magical debuff in the charm ability. So we're going to put him here. Not as good. I think Reina's like definitely top tier for bossing. So we're going to put Reina in front. We're going to put Torrent at the back. Yeah, we're going to group the units for the bossing side based on like how meta they are. So Valka, I guess Valka's for bossing. Damage, pure damage. This unit is true damage. But right now, I think for this season, true damage, I think the face of true damage is Pheromone, and then we also have Atalia. So Valka is definitely usable for bossing. So Ravage Realm, I think Valka will be used. with her debuff potential, with her true damage potential, but like I think she's not ultra versatile. So like I guess if you're pulling for her, maybe use in like bossing contents or bossing specific contents. And I think you can use her as a buffer for attack speed buff onto other carries. So that's that. We're gonna put her in bossing side. I think Hugin is specifically bossing. So Hugin specifically bossing is for the Dream Realm side as well as for his buffing potential. Like I think you can definitely try to use Hugin for the AFK stage side as a buffer, I guess, but in most cases, I think you have Rowan, you have Ludovic, you have Smokey for that slot. So yeah, like I think Hugin is mostly ran for bossing contents like Dream Realm or your Titan River and stuff. I think yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh wait, Cryonaya. So Cryonaya, right? The reason why Cryonaya is up there is because if you do have her built up, I think generally speaking, Cryonaya's ability to freeze time gives you additional time to do more damage for very specific Dream Realm bosses in the endless meta teams. So very, very niche, but her ability to buy time and her very high magical damage output with the ability to just hit a lot of units at the same time with her AoE damage potential actually makes her pretty okay for bossing. I don't think she's the best of the pack, but right now she's used in 2 meta teams for the endless Dream Realm bosses, and I think right in the Ravage Realm side she's probably gonna be doing the same thing, right? Doing time freezing and just doing a whole bunch of damage so that she is going to be in the best bossing team. So that's for Cryonaya. So that's for the bossing side, specifically for bossing. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Let us move on to the next tier. Okay, so for the list itself, right, for the next 2 tiers, Versatile and the SS Plus, I actually remove the 2 units on the list because I think Ludovic is worthy of an SS Plus, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And for the Versatile tier, I actually wanted to put Iron in the Versatile tier because like you use him across multiple different game modes. But I guess Iron is actually a pretty core piece for a lot of AFK stage pushing teams, right? You use Iron for your Smoky teams, you use Iron for your Iron Armors team, and Iron is pretty much a combo starter for most control-centric Wilders combo. So like I think for that reason, like you can't find a replacement for him, and he's also worthy of the SS Plus tier, specifically for what he can do for your team across different game modes as a debuffer, control, combo starter, and a core piece. SS Plus. So for Versatile tier, these are units which I think you can use them across different game modes. Like they are really good for some, they are okay for others, but generally versatile. So number 1 will be Parisa, good for AFK stage pushing, combo with Iron. A good buffer for your Wilders character, gives the attack speed buff to herself and 1 ally, and then give you more damage for bossing contents. Sonya is close to SS Plus, but I think for this season, right, because twins are just so dominant that at the highest level, if you have to choose between twins and Sonya, it's pretty much always twins, right? And this is where I think Sonya is usable as a buffer / AoE physical damage dealer for your Relentless Rumble content, as well as usable for the free-to-play players who don't have twins built up for their Dream Realm contents. So generally versatile, but you have better options that are up there in the form of twins. I think Lily May is versatile. Like, I think specifically for Lily May, she is used as a damage dealer for the niche game modes contents, as well as an ultimate cancelling unit against, for example, Shakir for the AFK stages. And I think, let's say, if you don't have a better carry, you can use Lily May for bossing contents as well, like for your Titan River, for your Battle Drill, as well for your Dream Realm. So, like, I don't think she's top in terms of the damage dealing compartment, but definitely usable, right? Definitely a good versatile character across different game modes. I think Lawson, burst heal as well as combo synergy with Iron Armors in the AFK stages, and recently for the Harmonic Challenge, right, the ability for him to give you burst heal as well as the control means that moving forward, if you need a unit with that burst heal potential for that rush game modes, for example, then I think Lawson is gonna be your go-to for those kind of game modes. Because Damien's a little slow, Huey is definitely super duper slow, where Lawson is a damage buff plus a burst heal if you burst the enemy down. So that's why he's in the versatile tier. I think Siren's generally versatile. I think Siren would be SS plus if his damage output was a lot higher in terms of the numbers percentage, but I guess you can actually group him as a alternative to Iron for the repositioning for your AFK stages and use in certain Dream Realm bosses, I guess. And then for the mobbing side, I don't think Siren would be like the best of the best, but I do see him being usable if you don't have other stronger units, because he does have some AoE in the black hole itself, right? So that's for Siren's versatility. Carolina, I think Carolina has always been in and out for like different game modes, specifically AFK stages together with Iron Armors. You can use Carolina for Relentless Rumble, use in Ravaged Realm, debuff, damage over time, pretty good magical damage unit as a combo piece in most magical damage teams as well. So generally versatile. You wouldn't think of her as the cream of the crop, but I think she's okay. Well, Teddy is definitely SS plus, man, because like you use her for quite a few things. I think there's that. Yeah, like I guess you can put Shakir in versatile. So I'm not gonna put Shakir in the SS plus because Shakir does see use in all the endless Dream Realm bosses, right, as the best buffer in the team to give you the haste buff from Lupine Aura, but his job is a buffer. So yeah, if you're building him up, I think Shakir is definitely really good for bossing, but for the AFK stage side, I don't see Shakir being used a lot. For the Relentless Rumble side, I guess you can use him to buff up your characters, but generally he's not seeing that much of a use. Maybe for Ravaged Realm because of his good buffing potential for your bossing contents in general. Generally speaking, I think this unit is versatile. Like I kind of want to put him in the bossing side, but Shakir has more utility than just being a buffer because he has control immunity where you need it in certain scenarios, and then he also has the ability to give you that damage reduction to protect your melee teams better. So I guess you can group him in the versatile tier if you do need that part of his kit. But yeah, like in most cases, not the strongest unit. Like if you group him based on his Dream Realm performance, then I think he's SS plus tier, right? But if you group him based on like everything in the PV side, I guess usable, but yeah, not the best of the best. So that's why he's here. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. So that's for the versatile tier. Now, for the SS plus tier, let us continue with Twins and Ludovic. So Twins, I think, needs no explanation. Basically used everywhere. So one of the best buffers in the game, one of the best unit in the game. So that's that. Together with Twins, I think I'm going to put Fresto here. Hands down the best tank in the game. Both Dream Realm side, AFK stage pushing side, PvP side. Probably usable for certain bossing contents, right? Like Titan Reaver. Use against your Crazy Shellbird specifically, with the ability to offer a buff, an additional body, with the ability to taunt, right, which is also good against Olsen as well. So yeah, pretty versatile. Best tank and best support. Ludovic, I shifted him up because Ludovic is so good in the Endless Dream Realm side as a HP percentage damage dealer that he actually outscales some of the best carries in the game, right, in that game mode. And specifically for Ludovic, I think any game mode where you need a good burst quick healer with a little bit of damage, I think Ludovic is a good replacement to Smokey. So in most cases, you would think of Smokey, but there are cases where Smokey is not usable because the opponent has a lot of control. That's where Ludovic comes into mind, and you use Ludovic for the burst heal potential. So that's why Ludovic is up here. So next, since we are on the healer side, we have Smokey. So Smokey needs no introduction as well. One of the best buffers, one of the best AFK stage pusher with the Smokey teams built around him, and also one of the best damage dealer against certain bosses in the bossing minigames compartment. So yep, SS plus tier for sure. Same thing, in the same note, I think Odie needs no introduction. One of the best damage dealers all around, insta kill, as well as a really good magical single target damage dealer against all the Titan Reaver bosses. I think so far every single pre-endless bosses kind of game mode Odie has seen use. So Ravaged Realm probably one of the best damage dealer as well. So Odie is definitely up there for PvE contents. Bonnie is definitely also really good for PvE contents in general. AFK stages, AoE coverage, debuff, as well as damage over time, which gives her a lot of damage built up. So yeah, bossing, I think Dream Realm side, at least she's used across two bosses, right? I'll also probably see her being used in Ravaged Realm. Also very powerful for Relentless Rumble, for bossing, for mobbing contents, and obviously AFK stages in general. So yeah, Bonnie's in the SS+. Harak is definitely SS+ for PvE. So one of the best Endless Dreamland characters, one of the best AFK stage deficit pushing unit, because there are certain stages where you just can't finish the HP of the opponent. This is where you use Harak's Devour to just eat them up once you lower the HP low enough, and then just win the match from there. Tedin is one of the best magical damage dealer outside of Odie in terms of the bossing side. And for the AFK stage side, I think you can actually run her in your talent stages, right, in terms of the Celestial Hypogean buff side. And you can also run Tedin for all the mobbing contents like Relentless Rumble, right, like all the different contents where you need to kill multiple units all at the same time. Her AoE power is just really good, and she's also incidentally some of the best units for Battle Drill for bossing. So yeah, she's definitely SS+. Simba is definitely SS+, one of the best physical attacker this season with the charm ability, the combo synergy with twins as well as other units, and just having a good mechanics catered to this character. And then last but not least, Pheromore, anti-heal in the ultimate, true damage buff, a whole bunch of damage, as well as a buffer for another carry in your team. So that's pretty much it. This is my final Zeee Ultimate PvE tier list. So let me know about your opinion about this tier list, as well as which unit you would have grouped differently based on the current meta, as well as your explanation for the different groupings itself. So hopefully this tier list is helpful for those of you guys seeking out for a complete PvE tier list. And thank you very much for tuning in. I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys!